I grew up thinking my mother loved me, but slowly I learned that what she called love was control. Even my happiest moments, small victories, good grades, simple compliments, were never really mine. She always had to twist them, overshadow them, or remind me I wasn't enough. It started subtly. When I talked on the phone with Daniel, my first serious boyfriend, she would hover just out of sight, watching, listening, waiting. I knew her tricks by then, her soft smiles, the sighs, the tiny remarks that seemed casual, but were sharp as knives. "Who is that?" she asked one evening, her voice light, almost joking. "Daniel," I said, trying not to sound defensive. "Of course," she said, tilting her head, smiling. "You always get excited over people who don't really know their worth, don't you?" I wanted to disappear. I wanted to tell her to stop, but I had learned that arguing never worked. She was always right, always clever, always in control. The next day, when Daniel came over, she transformed. Suddenly, she was charming, polite, warm, like she had no idea she had been sharp the night before. "Daniel, come in," she said. "You look so put together. Not many men your age are like that." He smiled politely. "Thank you, ma'am. I don't mind working hard." She said, softening her tone. "That's because you know your worth. Unlike some people who settle because they're afraid of being alone." I felt myself shrink. I wanted to speak, to defend myself, but I couldn't. Daniel looked uncomfortable, and I realized she was testing me. Testing him. Testing us. Later, in the kitchen, she started talking directly to him, not me. "I've spent my whole life guiding people," she said, pouring tea. "Some listen. Some don't. Some fail." Daniel hesitated. "I think Ariana is strong," he said cautiously. She laughed softly, not unkindly, but with that edge that always made me uneasy. "Kindness is confusing," she said. "Some people confuse kindness with weakness." I watched silently. My chest tightened. Every word she said chipped at my confidence. Every compliment she gave him was a reminder of how she controlled my world. I realized that in her mind, she didn't want him for me. She wanted to prove that she was superior, that I could never measure up. That night, I confided in Maya, my closest friend. "She does this every time," I whispered. "Every relationship. She makes me feel like I'm lucky anyone even likes me." "That's not normal," Maya said, firm but kind. "That's control, Ariana. She needs to feel superior. You need to see that." I nodded, tears in my eyes, realizing she wasn't just hurting me. She was undermining every part of my happiness. The next time Daniel came over, I decided to try something new. I didn't look away. I didn't flinch. I met my mother's gaze. "You undermine me," I said quietly but firmly. "Every time someone cares about me, you try to prove I don't deserve it." Her face froze, the practiced charm faltering for a second. "I only want what's best for you," she said, almost pleading. "Best for me?" I asked. "You call this best? Making me doubt myself? Making the people I love doubt me?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. I continued. "You don't want him. You want control. And I won't let you take that from me anymore." Daniel looked at me, quietly supporting me, his presence a calm shield. "You don't need her approval to be worthy," he said. Her silence was louder than any argument. I felt a strange, freeing power in that moment. I wasn't asking for permission anymore. I wasn't shrinking to make her comfortable. I took a deep breath. "I am enough, with or without your approval." And for the first time, I meant it. I finally believed it. Even later, when she tried to redirect the conversation, when she tried her soft manipulation again, I stayed firm. I let her words slide off me like water. I let Daniel be there, silently witnessing her behavior. It wasn't about shaming her. It was about reclaiming my life. That night, alone in my room, I realized something important. I didn't need anyone to tell me I was strong. I didn't need her validation, and I didn't need to shrink myself to fit into her version of perfection. I was enough. I always had been. Even when she tried to subtly control, subtly manipulate, I now had a choice. And I chose myself. I chose my happiness. I chose my boundaries. I chose the people who actually respected me, not the ones who wanted to compete with me. Even after that night, my mother didn't give up. She had mastered the art of appearing innocent while undermining me. One afternoon, Daniel and I were sitting in the living room, casually talking about his day. My mother walked in, humming softly, carrying tea, her smile perfectly practiced. "Daniel, you work so hard," she said, settling a cup in front of him. "I worry about you. Some people burn out too fast, don't they?" "Thanks, ma'am. I appreciate it," he said, politely, sensing the tension in my chest. Then she turned to me, her eyes sharp. Sometimes I wonder if people really appreciate what they have. Some of them just don't see it until it's gone. Don't you think, Ariana? I felt my stomach twist. She was testing both of us again. Subtle, soft, but cutting. She wanted Daniel to see me as fragile, uncertain, dependent. I forced myself to keep calm. "Yes, I guess so," I said quietly. She smiled, leaning back. "It's hard, isn't it? Seeing someone you care about make mistakes, even small ones. Some people just don't learn." "Daniel, you work so hard," she said, settling a cup in front of him. "I worry about you. Some people burn out too fast, don't they?" "Thanks, ma'am. I appreciate it," he said, politely, sensing the tension in my chest. Then she turned to me, her eyes sharp. Sometimes I wonder if people really appreciate what they have. Some of them just don't see it until it's gone. Don't you think, Ariana? I felt my stomach twist. She was testing both of us again. Subtle, soft, but cutting. She wanted Daniel to see me as fragile, uncertain, dependent. I forced myself to keep calm. "Yes, I guess so," I said quietly. She smiled, leaning back. "It's hard, isn't it? Seeing someone you care about make mistakes, even small ones. Some people just don't learn." Daniel glanced at me, then back at her. I knew he felt it too, the weight of her words. I tried to speak, but she cut in, softly, almost like a whisper only meant for him. "But you, Daniel, you seem so wise, so patient. You must have seen this before, haven't you?" Her praise for him, carefully placed, highlighted my supposed flaws. It wasn't about him. It was about control. And I refused to let it work. Later that evening, I talked to Daniel privately. "She's going to try to get into your head," I warned. "She'll make you doubt me. Don't let her." He nodded, quietly. "I see it. She's tricky. But I trust you." Hearing that gave me strength. I realized that love, real love, isn't about manipulation or control. It's about trust and respect. And for the first time, I felt that I could have that even if my mother didn't approve. Over the next few weeks, her attempts continued. She would compliment him in front of me, then subtly criticize me in the same breath. "Daniel, you have such a good head on your shoulders. Ariana's well, she's learning." Slowly. Her words were poisonous, carefully coated in sugar. And every time, I took a deep breath and reminded myself, this isn't about me being weak. It's about her needing to feel superior. One afternoon, she tried a new tactic. She invited him to help her with a small household task, something innocent on the surface. But her questions, her tone, all hinted at judgment. "Ariana sometimes forgets things," she said casually. "I hope you don't mind having to handle that sometimes too, Daniel." I could see Daniel's subtle discomfort. But instead of letting it spiral, I smiled. "Don't worry, he won't have to handle that," I said firm. "I can manage it myself." Her face faltered for a fraction of a second. Control slipping, and I realized even small victories mattered. That night, I told Maya everything again. "It's exhausting," I said. "She doesn't stop. I can't believe how she twists everything." Maya nodded. "But you're fighting back. You're standing your ground. That matters. Even Daniel sees it." And yes, Daniel did see it. Over time, he became a quiet shield. Not because he wanted to challenge her, but because he respected me enough to let me be strong. Every small interaction, every subtle manipulation she tried, he silently supported me. Finally, I understood something essential. The control my mother craved could only work if I allowed it. And I was learning, slowly, painfully, not to allow it. I was learning that my worth wasn't tied to her approval. By the end of that month, I felt different. Stronger. More certain. I could laugh in small ways without guilt. I could enjoy moments with Daniel without her shadow looming over us. And most importantly, I realized that I had allies, friends, loved ones, people who truly respected me. It wasn't over, and I knew it wouldn't be easy. But for the first time in my life, I felt a sense of freedom. And that freedom was mine.